Shannon and Ryan are the last couple to enter the experiment. I really liked his take on the whole bin man thing. And it's like, well, as long as you're not ever touching me with your bin man fingers, do you know what I mean? Like, why would there ever be a problem? Like, you see that she's really like not feeling it at all, to the point where he's like, she's being quite cold. Then you've got Sasha and Ross. You don't know how much of this is like producers are saying like, oh, do you know what? You're big in the gym. Ross is big in the gym. This will make great telly for you to like, go and have your man to man chat in the gym. To say I would not recover from this if this went in the bin. That is deep. And Emma and Casper are the other couple that they're looking at. So Casper is bricking it. But I feel like he has been picked apart to death, really. And I'm kind of bored of it too, because I'm like, well, what are you going to do about Helen? I'm just call her Penny. However, Stephen and Hannah do not look like they are having a good time. And you know what? I called it. Well, people, thems. So I've just finished watching episode 14 of Married at First Sight. So we've got the new couple, Shannon and I've literally just watched the show and I couldn't remember that guy's name. Anyway, so Shannon and Ryan are the last couple to enter the experiment, and we have a look at Emma and Casper with their in-laws coming over, and also Sasha and Ross. It's interesting because I feel like the show is definitely wanting to make. I mean, it's a drama. It's a reality drama show, isn't it? So it's going to try and like create some drama somewhere, even when there isn't really any. But we'll get to Sasha and Ross in a minute. So yeah, so it starts off with Shannon and Ryan. So Ryan, bin man, seems like pretty much salt of the earth kind of guy. He's got a kid called Leo. He's had cancer twice, and he just seems like someone that doesn't take life for granted. Do you know what I mean? Because he easily couldn't have been here, and he's really looking for something substantial and something real. So doing things kind of back to front. So he seems like really, really open to this process, really, which is really, really refreshing. I really liked his take on the whole bin man thing, because it's not something I've ever really thought about. Like, would I ever have a problem with someone having a job as a bin man? And it's like, well, as long as you're not ever touching me with your bin man fingers, do you know what I mean? Like, why would there ever be a problem? Like, seriously, like, it's a job, it's a career, and it's one that if we didn't have, our streets would be run ragged, rats and all sorts. So, like, I can't imagine anybody genuinely being like, oh my god, a bin man. Ain't nothing wrong with a bin man, not a thing. So rate the fact he's a dad, and rate the fact he's got this perspective on life. You know what I mean? Cancer is such a terrible thing that I think probably affects the majority of people that are online in some kind of way, knowing someone, themselves. So yeah, rate him. Then you got Shannon, and she's also been touched by cancer, and that she lost her dad to it. She seems like she's had a real tumultuous time with relationships and stuff. So she seems like she's a little bit done, basically. She's been through that ringer enough times, and she's just like, I am up to here, fed up. Yeah, me done. So she is really looking at this as like a last chance saloon. Like, if this don't work, yeah, miss me with anybody, any dates, any swipe, anything. I'll just be single on my own. So I'll be honest, in the first few shots and stuff, I very much was like, I feel like he's a really good looking guy. And I didn't really, I don't know, like, it just, obviously from the VT from last week, it looked like she was, pretty much not really feeling him. But then as the wedding kind of goes on, you see that she's really like not feeling it at all, to the point where he's like, she's being quite cold. And that's the first time that I've seen someone say on this so far, that they can see quite visibly how cold someone's been towards them during like the wedding and stuff. Even though actually she did seem like she was kind of warming up a little bit during like the photos. I mean, they did share like a few little kisses and stuff, but she did seem a little bit icy. And I think how it's been edited anyway is that she saw him and he looked like a boy basically, and she was like, I just he reminds me of my exes, and she couldn't really get past that, so she just like had kind of deaded it really, was kind of wanting to run. Now my thing is, none of us have ever been in a situation where we genuinely have to turn around and marry the person that we see, right? So who am I to say what I would be like if I turned around and saw someone that reminded me of my ex? I'm telling you something now. I'd probably kick the priest in the face. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're trying to pull here, yeah, right? But we spent multiple sessions talking about what an absolute waste, man. That listen, this wrap it up. Come on, get up out your chair. Come on, we're going. So I can kind of understand why she's a little bit like, but obviously I don't know what her exes are like, but you know he seemed like a, I don't know, he seemed like he's got a kind face. I think it's the eyes. The eyes to me looked kind, um, in a silent way, and I felt bad that he was feeling like, oh, I think she's like attractive and stuff, but I feel like she doesn't like me. That's gotta be like horrible to feel that. And to Emma. So yeah, that was a bit crappy, and then they started to open up and stuff for dinner, and he was asking about her parents and stuff and being close to the parents. Well, I saw a little light, like a glimmer of light, happen when he was asking about kids and stuff, and she was like, "Have you got any kids?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I got a little boy called Leo," and he seemed to like really, yeah, seemed to really like beam about talking about his little boy. And that seemed to be like, oh, okay, maybe he's got a few more layers, he's got some responsibilities and stuff. And then around the table, that's when they started talking about parents. She mentioned that her dad had died from cancer. He was like, oh, I've had cancer twice. And that seemed to open up as well. And I think that was when she started to realise, oh, I may have judged this guy a little bit too soon. And actually, he's got layers more than I realised. I just thought that was a really good lesson, yeah, of just not like, because I think we all do it, right? For example, I'm watching Big Brother at the moment, and obviously when the housemates first go in, like everyone's looking at them to like, okay, what they're like. They're judging them from like their VT, how they get out of the limousine, when they get up the stairs and they're talking to Will and AJ as they walk in and their first few moments into the house, and everyone's like forming, myself included, they're forming impressions about them, and it's like you can be so incredibly wrong about someone, so incredibly wrong, and the thing is, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because I think you naturally, in any situation, when you're at work, whether you're out and a night out, if you're at a party, like you will naturally have a first reaction, says the man with the reaction channel, about something that you see. But it's whether or not, like, when it comes to people anyway, whether or not you stick to that first impression based on the fact that, look, I just don't like you. And actually, that first impression that I had is probably based on literally nothing, is enough for me to kind of judge you completely, and I'm not willing to budge, or whether or not actually you're happy to be proven wrong. And I think even though she was coming across as a bit of a princess, really, I think, you know, when you've been bitten before and you've been through so much loss and stuff, like, yeah, man, put them guards up high, tower high, Isengard high, because there's too many people out there willing to just mess around with your feelings and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I get it, and I rate the fact that she admitted that she was wrong. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think by the end of it, it looked like they had quite a successful day. They were clicking a bit more, and it looks as though that the following episode that they're having a sick time on honeymoon. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Here for that. Then you've got Sasha and Ross, and I feel like with Sasha and Ross, I feel like again because they've had a pretty, you know, because they're linking up with Sasha's parents. Basically, they're coming from Warsaw to visit them, and I feel like it's always just been plain sailing with them. So realistically, even the whole like, oh, my dad's gotta really like you and stuff. I feel like because he's so close to Sasha, if Sasha's happy, he's gonna be happy for her. And Ross is a really nice guy who's been taking care of her, and she's really happy. She literally is singing his praises, to the point where when she was talking to her mum and she was saying like, oh, because when they get there, they're chilling and stuff, and it's all good, and then her dad's like, oh, do you want to come and train with me? And Ross is like, yeah, safe. And I'm like, right, I guess this is one way to bond. And I guess he's wanting to make sure that, you know, the man's got some strength and stuff. But it didn't seem like it was like, I don't know. Again, you don't know how much of this is like producers are saying like, oh, do you know what? You're big in the gym. Russ is big in the gym. This will make great telly for you to like, go and have your man to man chat in the gym. Do you know what I mean? You don't know, but he managed to kind of win him around anyway, because he was just like, look, what are your intentions with Sasha? Like, the dad didn't grill him. Do you know what I mean? For this big, like, the impression I think the show was trying to create of this big bad, like, do you know what I mean? Like, he didn't seem like that. He just seemed like a nice guy who loves his daughter. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to ask, like, what your intentions with my girl and stuff, and and Ross answered really well. I've had a great time with her. She makes me happy. I'm gonna take care of her. I'm gonna protect her. I'm gonna respect her. And the dad was like, "Yes, sound. That is exactly what I'm looking to hear. So you got my blessings, man." And the mom, like, because when Sasha was talking to the mom, she was like, things are going so well. I just keep thinking worst case scenario. What happens if like this basically goes in the bin? Like, I genuinely don't know what I'd do without him now. And I think that's like the first time that I've really thought how deep her feelings were. 'Cause I thought that she was really feeling him and that she really liked him and they were really happy. But to say that, like, I don't know what I would do, like, I would not recover from this if this went in the bin. That is deep. That is really, really, really deep. And I guess I forget, like, as much as it seems like it's just like a few weeks, which it is, they're still living together morning, noon, and night. And I think if you're talking to someone to that degree, like, that is a level of deep that people don't genuinely have, like, a lot of the time. So it's a very accelerated pace, isn't it? So I can kind of, yeah, it's just like, wow, that's a really big thing to say. Do you know what I mean? It's a big thing to say. So yeah, they're all good. And then Emma and Casper are the other couple that they're looking at. So Casper is bricking it. He's just like, I am so done with having this conversation. Like, and I know that we're gonna rehash it. I know they're gonna grill me about it. So it's Emma's sister and her like best friend who are gonna be there, and Casper's best friend that are coming over for dinner, and they don't really waste much time in getting into it. Really, it's been like, yo, so they, they're like, oh, how are things going? And Emma's like, yeah, the hotel was amazing. We had a really lovely view. They served us great breakfast. Like, she didn't say anything about breakfast, but she's talking about the actual like accommodation and stuff. And then she's like, yeah, but we had a Barney the first night because he basically was like, I'm not his type, and then they basically rehashed the whole curvy girls comment, and both women are just absolutely mortified. Imagine it's your brother or your sister and some person that you don't know, yeah, who, by the way, is sat down there not looking exactly like any kind of Mozart painting themselves, has let your cousin, brother, sister, whatever, feel bad about the way that they look. Yeah, like, and I dig into that just in a second, but that just initial protective marker. I'm out. Nothing. Look. I respect the fact that you're still here and you're trying to make things work, but you're telling me that on the first night that you're together, you made my family member cry. The level of making up and peddling that you would need to do in order to get. And listen, I love everybody. Like you, if I don't like you, yeah, then then your spirit's wicked. I'm telling you, because I'm a big fan of most people. So if you get me on your bad side, listen, just mark it down 10 and call it a day, because you would have to jump through so many hoops, because I'd always be watching you. I'd always be watching you. Like, what? He said, what? However, what I will say, because then when his best friend then came, because they were just mortified, being like, that is really unkind to say to anyone, especially that soon in, but to any woman. And it's like, yeah, I know, I own it, I get it. Like, I felt mortified that I did it myself, and I said that. His friend then comes in, he then wants to know Wagwan, and they're like, yeah, it's excellent, everything's just absolutely flipping dandy, like, great. And he's like, well, why then? And he's like, do we really have to do this? And he's like, yeah. So he has to recant the whole story. And to the friend's credit, he's like, look, they look like they're trying to make a go of it. They look like they're trying to move past it. Like, you know, and I think we've got to support them in doing that. The girls are like, absolutely don't think this is your man. Don't think it's your man. And Emma's like, I'm gonna need to sleep on it and see what, you know, how I think about it the next day. But you know, again, Casper's like, look, I've even had thoughts about kissing her at some points. I mean, but obviously, we keep going back to this, and I don't know whether we're going to be able to really move past it and stuff. And I'm just like, a little bit like the Adam and Polly situation, where I'm just like, but, and the ladies did say this, to be fair, you know, a preference is a preference, or what you're attracted to is what you're attracted to, and if you can't move past it, you can't move past it. And I don't know. I don't know. I feel like he said it. He said it and it wasn't great. He said it and we've all heard it. We've said it. We've had the experts completely lambasting for it, and I just feel like now, because he's said to stay, and Penny, she's just like a penny. Penny or a Helen. Because Emma has decided to stay, then it's a bit like, well, you are in a situation where you don't have to put up with that. If you feel as though that your worth is more than this, and actually that, you know, you find it so abhorrent that someone could say this to you, you why stay? Like, I'm not trying to fix. Like I've said this before. If someone said, I know it's not quite the same, because you know, race and weight. You know, one can change one's weight, one can't change their race. But to me, it is the same thing, because if you stand in your truth and that's who you are, and you own all of who you are, I don't have to convince you. Like, I'm not looking to convince you of my worth. You either see it or you don't. If you don't, you don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't. I can't imagine staying with someone that said to me, like, yo, Luke, like, I don't, your nose, those Jackson 5 nostrils you got there, sorry, I'm not F with that. And that could be from any race, do you know what I mean? Like, there's some black on black hate crime too, do you know what I mean? Like, it could be anybody could say that to you. So I'm like, well, I wouldn't stay. And I'm definitely not trying to make you a better person. Like, oh, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say that. Like, oh, you know, like, listen, you are small minded if that's your perspective. But, like, that, I don't know. Because you're attracted to what you're attracted to. I don't get it. And I feel like, you know, there would never be a race of people or a size of people that would make me go, absolutely not. Like, ever. You might have a preference, but it's not absolute. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the difference. I think that's the thing that, like, I would struggle with. That if someone was just like, I absolutely don't date this. I absolutely couldn't abide with that. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. I'm not stopping here to make you. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So, I kind of feel like he's getting a really, really, really tough time, and as he should, because I feel like initially he wasn't very nice, but I feel like he has been picked apart to death, really, and I'm kind of bored of it too, because I'm like, well, what are you gonna do about it, Helen? I'm just calling Penny. What are you gonna do about it? And you know, she's talking about sleeping on it, but I'm just like, surely you must already know that this is not going to be the person that you're sailing down the La Seine River. Do you know what I mean? Like, going off to friggin' Venice for a lover's, like, soiree weekend. Like, this ain't the one. You love a wine and you love a crisp. You don't love a Casper. You don't love a Casper because he don't love you. So yeah, kind of love it, really. That's where I'm kind of at with that. I'm kind of just done seeing people who are being made to feel less than and just sticking around. Like, why are you sticking around then? Just love it. Love it. I'm done. You pair me with someone that ain't attracted to me. I'm not looking to beg this person. I'm fabulous in my sexy bikini and my amazing wedding dress. If you don't see that and don't want all of this, then go about your business. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Then next episode, it flashes to the last of the homestays with Adam and Polly and their people, and then it looks at the newlyweds and their honeymoon. So Amy and Luke, yes, Amy and Luke look like they're having a lovely time. So I think it looks like they've got over their ick issue, well, her ick issue. Luke, Ryan and Shannon look like they're also having a great time. However, Stephen and Hannah do not look like they are having a good time. And you know what? I called it. Like she seemed overbearing in the beginning. And look, I've not seen all the clips yet, so maybe he's been in the wrong. But from the clips that we've already seen so far, you mean to tell me that you don't think that she could be a bit much? When your friends are saying that the hope that you can get someone that can just bring her down, yeah, I think that's going to be a lot. And I can't stand people where it's only their opinion, only their opinion. Like I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Not in a situation like, don't get me wrong, I can be quite I can be quite opinionated, clearly, but if I'm in an environment, particularly with someone that I'm trying to woo and I'm trying to like get to know and all that kind of stuff, it can't be just my opinion. It can't be. Like, why would you ever want to be in a situation where and you're in the Dominican Republic of all places and someone could say it's only your opinion? Bro, I failed. I failed then. Like, you know, and effing them. And I guess some people do express themselves with cussing, yeah, but I just feel like it's just. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. It's just not something that I feel like would bring me any kind of like joy. I mean, if we're bantering and we're just joking about other things, fair enough. But if we're actually having a discussion about something that's annoyed you or whatever, and you start effing and jeffing it, fam. So yeah, not wanting to lay no blame, but I'm a bit like, mate, you look like you're gonna be a bit much anyway. Do you know what I mean? So let's see. Let's wait and see what actually happens. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys thought of this. If you did enjoy this, then please do drop me a like and subscribe. I'd be very, very grateful. And yeah, man, just give me your thoughts on what you think of like the new couples. Oh, sorry, I didn't even comment on Adam and Polly. It looks like our good friend. What was his name? Was it Liam or Polly's best friend? Like, it sounds like he ain't messing about and he's happy to tell you and in front of your brethren around your dinner table, I did not rate what you said about my friend. In fact, I was quite peed off. Actually, I rate that. That's the kind of like full on face front. I don't like what I saw. I'm telling you about it. So I guess we'll see what happens. But again, like, bro, what else is there to say? Why we sat around at the awkward table with somebody that's clearly said I'm not feeling it. I'm not. It's not. It ain't going anywhere, is it? Look how many people finish Love Island, yeah, as couples, as actual couples, and they're like, oh, I want to win. And I'm look, and even the winners of Love Island have just finished, yeah, have just broke up. If they were ever really together at the end, you understand me that someone that's told you multiple times on national television and doesn't feel no way to shame you up that there's going to be any chance of this union being anything. So we're just wasting train tickets and airfare and electric at this point. Just turn off the camera. Come on. Just turn off the camera. Save the dinner. Yeah, save the awkwardness and just say, go home. Because what is the point? So unless we see something like drastic this week, this is just a waste of everybody's time. It's a waste of everybody's time. But yeah, I'm here for the sass anyway. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think of this. If you could drop me a like and subscribe, that'd be amazing. Thank you so much. And like I said, I'd love to know what you guys thought. So do drop your comments in the comment box below. But for now, thank you for watching. And I hope to see you on the next one.